Hey guys, hello and welcome back to Green Pips FX. And on today's video, I'm gonna give you a quick on walkthrough throughout this trade that we just had on Pound USD today. It's an absolutely phenomenal trade, and from this video, you're actually gonna pick up a thing or two about smart money concepts, about how we trade at Green Pips FX Academy, and most of all on the MMC footprint strategy and how we confirm and refine our trades. Now, as you can see, so first thing is first, when you get into the market and you want to trade it, then there are just some things that you have to know. You've got to know the market structure. You've got to know the order flow, and also, of course, last but not least, you've got to have your S&D zone, right? Your order blocks pinpointed out, areas from which you want to see price trend into, and then absolutely get a phenomenal trade from there. Now, of course, we've been having these bearish breaks on pound USD so recently. So we just had this break here, right? So you can just term that break of structure. So yeah, so I'm gonna go with this low because I feel like this is the low that was actually holding this overall up move. Like this is the low that held the overall up push towards taking up this liquidity, and once that liquidity was taken, price instantly just decided to re-break back bearish, and we'll see from there what happens in the coming weeks. But for today, let's just stick with our absolutely phenomenal trade. So with that being said, right after this break of structure here, price decided to put on this low right here, right? So I'm just gonna go with a highlighter. So we had this low, which pretty much came from this overall high, but we also had an intermediary high, which is this guy here. So we're also gonna pinpoint this little man in here as our intermediary high, right? So this is the intermediary price action that we're currently sitting on, from that high to this low down here, right? But the overall high, which is still withholding price towards the downside, is this high here. Necessarily, if we do see this high here get taken out, then we'll know that price had shifted back bullish, and would be expecting price to give us these kinds of setups to go bullish with and target the highs, of course. But that didn't happen, and price just decided to go on bearish. Now, with that being said, so this is the range that we were currently sitting on, right? And into the market as a day trader, of course, I just use my intraday timeframes, necessarily the 30-minute, the 15-minute, and the 3-minute or 1-minute or 5-minute for confirmation, just depending on the kind of price actions that is presented to me, and what I want to pinpoint and see exactly happening in the charts will allow me to make my trading decisions based on my rules and principles, of course. So after having this range here, after having this range of price right here, the next thing that we needed to do, of course, is apply the concept of supply and demand, where we did have to pinpoint an actual area of supply, in this case, since it's a bearish trend, and an area of supply at which price was, most likely gonna retrace into, and then push away from there to go back bearish and target these lows as the next liquidity runs. And that's what we just did. So with that being said, so this low right here, all right, so I'm just gonna use the line. Okay, so this low right here, for me, this was what I call my next liquidity run. And from this next liquidity run, right, my area of supply, of course, was this last buy to sell right here. As you can clearly see, that price made a high, right, came back down, attempted to break this low, failed, left the wick, right, which means that the buyer stepped into the market, right? So the buyer stepped into the market right here and then pushed this price up to this point here, and then failed, with the sellers coming back into the market and taking this market down, successfully breaking this low and this overall low right here as well. So for me, this in general was the area that supply and demand had lied into, and that was the most precise area of demand or bearish order block that I could use for a very potential trade. Now, with that area being pinpointed, then what I just had to do was drop down timeframes and see what was happening within the lower timeframes, which could allow me to make my trading decisions once price had reached into this area of demand of supply here. Right, so there we are. So now we just go back to the refinement phase, right? So when we try to refine this thing, right? So I can just take that whole thing out. When we try to refine this thing, right? So I'm just gonna be left with this area here, right? And why this area, right? So you can just clearly see that price makes a low, a high, comes down, right? Makes this low here, pushes price up, leaving this big ass wick right here, right? As you can clearly see. So let me just zoom in for you, right? There. So you can clearly see that this candle opens, pushes down, leaves a wick, pushes up, leaves a wick, and then closes in the middle. So this is a very evident platform of the concept of supply and demand, right? So both bulls and bears were involved at this area. So we have very big, we had very big volume in here, right? So this is a very good area of supply in this case. So this was the area that I was going for. And, you know, as you can clearly see, so price comes in, makes this high, makes this low, breaks, creates a high, comes back down to break this low and creating a lower low. So with that being done, so this was still midnight price action. As you can see, this was 22 hours. So of course, you know, we always trade during the trading hours, and this is a pound USD pair, which normally trends during the London session and the New York session. So we had no business coming into this chart during the Asian session. That's pretty ridiculous, because, you know, you're just mostly gonna meet with very abrupt and rapid price action like this, which is pretty ugly to trade and non-profitable. So we just came into the charts during the session hours, which is London session open. Of course, that was 9 a.m. for me, and price was now currently in a retracement phase. As you can clearly see, that price once it made this low here, price came up and created this high, and then successfully broke down. And with this breakdown, price created a low. So we're just going to name that as a break of structure. We're also going to remove these. All right, so there we have it. So price broke down and created this low here, and price was now currently in a retracement phase in towards this area here of demand, which is now a refined area of supply. And from here we had a very, very good trade, because price had already broken once, which was the change of character, and then the second break, which is the break of structure in itself, which completes the Dow theory of structure, that tells us once price makes a change of character and a break of structure, then the newly installed trend is, you know, more than likely to hold. So at this point, we knew that this newly installed bearish trend was more likely than not to hold. So there we had our trade. Our stop loss was just slightly above this high here to make it a 6 pip stop loss, and of course we were targeting the lows as usual. So our next liquidity run is and always will be our take profit target. So there we had it, a 1 to 18 RR trade, and that's how beautifully it played out. So from there, price just decided to fall off the face of the earth, and there we had it, guys. A brilliant and a very magnificent trade on pound USD today. Shout out to everyone who is in the community, and also, guys, if you do want to join our premium community, then you can just hit us up through our social medias, Instagram in particular, at official Green Pips FX, and of course we'll be more than happy to have you guys in our premium community. With that being said, guys, if you did like the video, then don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't, turn that bell button on for notifications, and until the next one, guys, stay safe, have a nice trading week, and of course, peace out.